we've got gas, and we're ready to rock and roll on this road trip today. I am so excited because I get a burrito today, and I love burritos. Like, I love Mexican food, burritos, all of that. So I'm excited. And Salida has one of my favorite, burrito joints. And I'm ready to eat my burrito. Unfortunately, I'm going to get there at 10 o'clock in the morning, so actually I'll get through Salida before that. But you know what? We're going to make a day of it. It's all good in the hood, my friends. Woo! This caffeine's kicking in. Hello. I got my burrito. I had to double wrap it because it was packed with goodies. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm so excited. Cannot wait. Okay, that was delicious. I ate half my burrito. So we're going to go hit up the hot springs. And then, I don't know. See what the day brings. I've been looking for one of these hats for forever, and like Amazon, it was gonna take like a week to get there, and they're like $10 more. Just got me one. So I'm gonna swap hats. Sunshade, yes. Also got these electrolytes because I've been just super dehydrated in the desert. So I'm gonna give those a try. My friend Lauren, I think, gave me some of those not too long ago to try, and I liked it, but we're gonna do a couple because I've got some coming via Amazon, but that'll hold me over. Woo! Ooh, that water's chilly. Decided to take the pups on a little walk. Such a glorious day. I'm so glad I got this hat because I've been really needing some shade because I've been getting sunburnt so bad. So this is awesome. I'm really happy. But anyways, dogs and I are out playing, walking. We're about to go to the hot springs. Just making a day of it. Look, you can see them big, beautiful white snow-peaked mountains back there. Grief is something that we have all faced. We all know the 5 stages. We know the pain, and we know the struggles to let go of things you don't want to, even though you know you should. While grief might look different for each person, no one is free of it. I faced denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and now I'm faced with accepting what has happened. It's now been 2 weeks since my camper was totaled. Living out of a tent in this environment with the weather is starting to get harder. This week, there was a break in the intense heat, and the temperatures were about 10 degrees cooler than they have been, and that is a welcome change. My dad is on his way to help me clean up the mess and offer some much-needed emotional support. His arrival couldn't come soon enough. Someone left me a comment on one of my previous videos that said something along the lines of this being the consequence of me choosing to be a solo nomad, as if I should stay quiet about my struggles with loneliness during this time, or as if I've lost the right to have these feelings. However, I feel compelled to share my story with you. Yes, I'm a single female that chose to be on the road alone with my dogs. That doesn't mean my struggles aren't real, or that I have forfeited my emotions, my experiences, or my reactions to certain events because I chose this lifestyle. These are tough, possible realities to this lifestyle. It doesn't mean it's gonna happen to you, but it happened to me. And is it really subject to me being a nomad? Homes are destroyed by floods, tornadoes, and other natural disasters, just like my situation. Are those people's reactions any less important because they chose to live in that natural disaster path? No. So let's focus on building a stronger community of support and kindness. I also received comments that this situation was completely preventable, or that it hadn't happened to others who had been in their A-frame style campers for longer periods of time. My only response to that is, my heart is filled with joy that those people haven't had to face the daunting reality of their camper being taken out by the wind. And while it might have been preventable, had I A, B, C, or D's worth of products that supposedly prevent these situations, let's realize, I just bought my camper. I was still learning the ins and outs of what it means to own this style of camper. I hadn't learned about wind protection kits yet, or all the tricks that these commenters have suggested. Mind you, most of them have said that they've lived in their camper for years. I've had mine for weeks. No one starts off knowing everything. We all have to learn the skills we've developed. So I did the best I could in this situation. And had the wind not taken my camper out, perhaps in time, just like those people, I would have learned all of those tricks and tips. But here we are. So let's move forward. As such, I want to use my story as a means to encourage others who are out there, who want to get out there, or who are in a similar situation.
I'm officially spent. It's hot. Amazing. State Farm did say that I could swap out the electric with a manual because they process the paperwork with a manual jack, not electric, so I'm going to be taking this guy off. I have to keep the propane. I'm going to swap my battery out with my dead battery because I just bought this brand new battery. But I got pretty much everything else out of here. But I have quite a bit of stuff in here and I can't access any of it. I'm not just, like, I can't lift the walls. The walls are all detached. So I can't get some of this stuff, so my dad's gonna drive out from San Diego to help me and go from there. During all of this, I had my title mailed to the campground. Unfortunately, the campground was not on the post office mail route, so it was lost in transit. I went to the local post office to see if they could help me track it down, since the tracking on the website didn't update. So it's now a waiting game for it to be returned to my mailbox in South Dakota, so I can once again have it sent to a different location in Colorado. Just talked to the post office. It's in a distribution center in Denver. I cannot go pick it up because it's not open to the public. He said it's on, the gentleman said that it is on a carrier, so it's heading back to South Dakota because it had come back to this county a few times. So now it's just a waiting game for it to get delivered back to the post office, to my mailbox, and then I'll have to have it sent back, but I'm going to do a general delivery this time, that way I can get my title. But the good news is that means I probably don't have to order a duplicate title because it's still faster for me to wait for the mail process to work than to get a duplicate. So at least I know that information. So I'm gonna head back to the campground and just sit tight for a little bit because there's nothing I can do. My dad is literally like 5 minutes away. Okay, so insurance said I can swap out my jack. So I'm going to, my dad is here with me. We're going to swap the electric jack out with the manual jack. It was like 30 bucks to Harbor Freight versus however much this thing cost. And insurance said it was okay because they didn't quote the electric jack in the price. So we're about to swap this bad boy out.
No, should be pull it right off her. Lay it down somewhere. All you gotta do is keep on going. Okay.
They could have put this thing up here so you could have just gone like this, but no. I didn't know you could just flip it up. My dad said, sweetie, this is how you do it. Oh, this is why I have an electric one. Okay, just got the Bluetooth out, so now we're doing the table. But look how dirty this camper gets when it just sits empty.
That's your problem here in a minute.
It's raining. Whoa, hey. Okay.
How's it going?
Good. Uh-oh. Let's see if I can go. No. always happens to me when I'm in sandals. Oh my God.
I didn't film a whole lot while my dad was here, but the next morning, my dad and I got up, we went and got breakfast, and we went into the city to look at RVs. I'm still waiting on insurance to pay me out for the camper, so it was more of a recon mission to see what was out there in my budget. Turns out, there's not a lot. There was only one camper I saw that had potential, and even then, it wasn't ideal.
That's actually an interesting look. Let's look and see what's in it.
Oh my gosh, how do you open these doors?
There you go.
Oh,
That's also they have the same doors that other camp had. This is
oh my gosh, that weighs
23.
like 5,000 pounds. Okay, I guess we're stepping on it. Where would my dogs go? Huh. Well, we did go look at some trailers. We went to a couple different dealers in the Springs, and I did find a used Cricket for sale. And I wasn't like super set on the pop-up idea, but I feel like this one's way more secure than anything that I've seen. And it's super Spartan and it's super resilient. Like I feel like the dogs could get in there and not tear it up. But it was a little bit over my budget. So I'm still in the market, still looking. And I did find my title, and I have requested it to be overnighted to my friend's house here in town. That way I don't lose it again with the post office, and then I can start getting the payout. But yeah, it was a great time with my dad. I'm so glad that he was able to come out. It really helped me lift my spirits. I wish I could have found an RV, but it would have been a little bit premature anyway. But now we're just getting gas and heading back to the campground to pack up everything and then get ready to say our goodbyes for tomorrow morning at like 4 a.m. So kind of sad about that.
Am I taking a Jackery home?
I got a rental RV for a week, and I was so excited about that. The temperatures were rising and more storms were in the forecast. However, things were a little off from the very beginning. When the owner brought the rental to the site, she said the battery was dead, so I'd have to find a way to charge the battery without plugging into shore power. At the campground, the power is only from solar, and we don't have the capacity to support a 30 amp. Thankfully, she provided a battery charger, but it drained the campground battery within a few hours, so I never really got the camper fully charged. Additionally, it was super dirty when she dropped it off, but thankfully she at least provided cleaning supplies. I needed something to do anyway. My friend and coworker Matt dropped off a generator that would allow me to plug into the camper so that I could use the AC. Thanks, Matt.
All right, I just spent my first night in this rental camper, and I have to say it's way nicer than a tent. Very thankful. It's kind of expensive to rent an RV though, and having my guys, I don't really like to do that because I never know what they're going to tear up. Thankfully it's not super hot. There's a nice breeze, but it does get hot inside the camper, so we've got the cooler on inside, and the dogs and I are staying cool, especially when I open the door. But yeah. Oh boy, another storm. Okay, so we just had another thunderstorm roll through. But earlier today, yeah, it's kind of noisy out there. Earlier today, I hooked up a generator to the rental RV, and I turned the AC on, and everything was great and fantastic. We were getting cold. I went outside for a few minutes, came back in, and everything near the AC was soaking wet. It was leaking, soaking, and it like got water all over my Goal Zero power bank, my tablet, my USB fan, the bed. I'm just like, what happened? So I instantly turned it off. I troubleshoot it to the AC unit. I turn everything off, and I'm just like, what happened? I talked to my dad, and we think maybe it was like the condensation plug or something was clogged and it's not draining properly. So I turned that off, and then we had a massive thunderstorm roll through, so I had to go and do something for a little bit, and I came back and my carbon monoxide alarm was going off, and the dogs were completely stressed out. God only knows how long that was going off. and thankfully it wasn't hot or anything, but like I don't know what that was about. So then I checked the battery was dead. So I was like, well, it's the one that's connected to the camper. So is it because the battery's dead and it's alerting me, or is there really a carbon monoxide issue? And then I troubleshooted that it's actually the RV propane sensor. So then I was like, is it the propane? Is it seeping? Like, is anything on? What is causing this? So I silenced it. I opened the door. I put a fan on, and I just got the dogs out of there. And we sat there for a few, and I called the owner, and I was like, hey, this is what's happening. And she was like, well, why don't you fix it? Anyways, right now we're in another thunderstorm, and it is completely flooded outside. Like, it is so incredibly wet out there. So I'm just thankful that we're dry, even though it's like super humid in here. We've got fans going. We're not hot. I converted the dinette into the bed because the beds are bunks, and the bottom is for the dogs and the top is where I'm supposed to sleep, but it's just, I'm used to sleeping with my boys. So we got it, and we're gonna go to bed. Come on, you're okay. Look at that sunset. It's like fire. I returned the RV. I have the Gazelle back up. My dad brought my Gazelle with him, so I had a little bit more room. My hope is that all of these windows will help ventilate some of this air a little bit better than the hard canvas tent, but we'll see. I'm gonna move everything in and then get settled. So we're gonna give the Gazelle a try and see how it works. Right now nothing's in it, so I'm gonna move in. It's starting to get dark outside, so I wanna hurry. But man, I am roasting. So we're gonna try to get this done and then sit in front of the swamp cooler and hopefully cool off a little bit. But yeah, it feels good to have something that feels familiar with us. So I'm hoping that this will work out better than the hard canvas tent. The only challenge with this tent is that the walls do collapse in the wind, and it's very windy here, so I'm not really sure how long this is gonna last, but we're gonna give it a try and see if this helps keep us a little bit more cool, because like with the other tent, there's no ventilation, and I have all of these windows here. So fingers crossed that this will help.